This is in line towards fighting the gender-based violence and the FGM. There are 22 counties in the country that FGM is highly practiced. And this afternoon in this session, we have seen these youths being recognized. Right now, Purity, I'm being joined by the CES Gender and Public Service, Margaret Kobia, who will actually expound to us some of the commitments. There are 12 commitments that the president has made towards this. Actually, we're going to hear from her, actually to expound to us what exactly it is and how this one will be actualized. Welcome. Just to start us off, we are seeing that the president has highlighted 12 commitments rather, towards ending FGM and GBV. Maybe to start us off, where are we, Kenya, in terms of the GBV and FGM fight?
Let me say that gender equality, I think, is the main frame that we try to follow. And for us to achieve gender equality in Kenya, just like other global countries, where we work around Sustainable Development Goal number 5, one of the pillars that we work around is gender-based violence. When it comes to gender-based violence, Kenya was doing very well until we got COVID. And when we got the COVID pandemic, we realized that women and men are affected differently. We realized women and girls are more kind of vulnerable when it comes to gender-based violence. The fact that most of the families were close at home, and if they ever had a conflict, that made it, gave it an opportunity for that conflict to become worse and then experience gender-based violence. We also realized that the other area is during the curfew, where most people, maybe when they went to do a certain errand, by the time they came back, it was a bit late. Sometimes they could be attacked on the way. Also, that means that we need a lot of safe spaces where women and girls can walk around so that they do not experience gender-based violence. Therefore, we do recognize working around the gender-based violence is one of the pillars that also will give women and girls an opportunity to have a voice. So what we are saying is we need the community to be aware gender-based violence is a crime, domestic violence is a crime, and instead of having the stigma of keeping quiet, we need to voice it out so that everybody understands it's a crime. And of course, if somebody has committed a crime, the perpetrators, they also need to be they need to be arrested by the police and of course punished for that crime. So what are we doing today? Today we are launching Generation Equality Forum Kenya chapter. This is based on what the UN, the government of Mexico, the government of France initiated as one way of fast-tracking gender equality since the Beijing Platform of Action, which was held in 1995. What has come out very clearly is the progress has been slow, the gains are few. Therefore, the globe is asking ourselves to reflect what works to improve gender equality and what do we need to do. So today, as a Kenyan chapter, within the framework on generation equality, we have come up with 12 commitments where the Kenyan government is co-leading on the pillar of gender-based violence. And in that, the government has committed itself to accelerate and to have new initiative of fighting gender-based violence. This 12 commitment can be summed up as creating awareness, committing resources, also using young people, that is involving the communities, the young people, the elders, the women themselves, in education, in the health, so that we all create synergy through intergovernmental agencies, so that we can have very clear, targeted, measurable commitment that the Kenyan government can commit itself during the launch in Paris in June. that these are our 12 commitments, and we will be measuring them every year so that we can see through that, then we can be transformation and also accelerate gender equality in this country. And I'm sure if many other countries, about 167 that have signed on Generation Equality Forum, then total of that means we'll start seeing a more accelerated transformative towards gender equality, because we are aiming, we need an equal world where women and men have equal opportunities politically, socially, and culturally to be able to engage and perform. Yeah, thank you.
Talking about the COVID-19 impact that it has had on women, especially the increase of GBV and FGM cases, the President spoke of a survey that was done during in a year's period time. What exactly were the findings, maybe if you can share with us?
During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Kenyan government realized there were more cases being reported on gender-based violence through the toll line 1195 and also the police care line. That did concern the committee that is dealing with national response on COVID-19 pandemic. And the National Crime Center was directed by His Excellency the President to go out and carry a survey. Why are there many cases of gender-based violence? The survey was carried, and it came out with several findings. One, it was recognized that during the time of COVID pandemic, there was an increase of alcohol, drug abuse. There was also lack of parental care, where the young people sometimes they never had guidance, so they were experiencing kind of youth crisis. Another factor that was found, it appeared where there are low incomes, that poverty. Poverty is a major contributor of gender-based violence, because poor people have no dignity, and sometimes they have no many options when maybe responding or maybe getting aware of where can they realize the early warnings. So those are, and the reason why that stand is very important to us as the Ministry of Public Service and Gender is because now you can have intervention targeted to the findings. If it's alcohol, what do we need to do within Akanda? If it's poverty, what economic activities do we need to engage? If we find that the other factors like also lack of parenting, perhaps we need to start working with other partners, the churches, to go back to principles and the values of good parenting. So it is not just one factor, but it requires several interventions to be able to deal with gender-based violence.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, you heard it from the CS, and basically these are efforts to accelerate the fight against GBV and FGM. Of course, we will be keeping our eyes on any other issues that will be coming up in this forum. That is it from here. Back to you in studio, Purity Museo.
Thank you so much, Kamche Menza, coming to us live from the Kenya School of Government. And of course, she was exclusively speaking with the Gender Cabinet Secretary, Professor Margaret Kobia, who just tabled some 12 commitments by the government to ensure the implementation of gender equality is accelerated. And of course, part of it is government's commitment to ensure end of vices such as the female genital mutilation. Kamche will be giving us more details on our subsequent bulletins. And in Nyamira County, 3 people are in critical condition at the Nyamira Referral Hospital after the county assembly building that was under construction collapsed on Thursday evening. 51 people were treated and discharged, 8 of them with physical injuries. The 5-story project, estimated at 379 million shillings and earmarked for the county assembly hall and offices, tumbled in one of the sections as mansions worked on the 4th floor. Now, Nyamira County Commissioner Amos Mariba said investigations have been launched into the incident.
Na vifuzi ambavyo vimewazika wafanyikazi waliokuwa katika jengo hilo, na inakisiwa kwamba watu wawili wamo humo, na tunaendelea pia kupata taarifa na kuona kwamba wale wote waliokuwa wakifanya kazi katika jengo hilo tumeweza kuwatafuta na kujua wako wapi. Kuna wachache pia wamepelekwa hospitalini, walipata majeruhi madogo madogo. Ni muhimu kwamba tuone kwamba hatupotezi mtu au hamna mtu mwingine ambaye anaumia, na hilo ndilo jukumu letu haswa, kuona kwamba safety ya wananchi hapa imeangaliwa.
We now take a quick breather here at Lunchtime News. Stay with us. Tell us where you tuned in from. Do interact with us on all our social media platforms, including Twitter at KBC Channel 1 News and at Purity_Museo. Let's take that break.
The Board of Trustees of Telposta Pension Scheme and Fund advises all members that the 2020-2021 AGM shall be held virtually on Monday 31st May 2021 from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The event will be live on KBC Channel 1 TV, YouTube and Facebook pages. This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tutamfuga kuku ndani ya greenhouse. Kisha tukuze blackberry.
Mkulima ajue kwamba wakati unapanda utizame sana, ili unapotumbukiza kijiti kile au cutting kwenye udongo uwe makini, uhakikishe kwamba zile nodes zinaangalia upande wa juu, na especially matawi vile yanamea yao yameangalia upande wa juu.
Ungana nasi Jumapili saa 9:30 hapa KBC Channel 1.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
Sasa hii ng'ombe ni yako.
Asante. Hii ng'ombe itatoa maziwa mengi kabisa. Sasa shida ya school fees imeisha. Jen, chukua hii. Hebu nikuulize, hii maneno nasikia ya bima ya elimu inaweza kuwa namna gani mtu anachukua?
Process ya kuchukua insurance cover yote ni rahisi. Hata niko na cover ya gari yangu. Kwanza unajaza proposal form kama hii na uijaze wewe mwenyewe. Na kama haujui kusoma, uijaze na mtu unayemwamini. Hakikisha ile majibu umepatiana ni sahihi na ni ya kweli. Pia dhibitisha insurance cover imeangalia maslahi yako. Na usiwahi sign proposal form ambayo haijaandikwa kitu chochote. Pia ukumbuke kujitolea photocopy yako.
Sasa wacha nianze hiyo process.
By the way, ukisubmit hiyo proposal form, uhakikishe umepatiwa policy document. Uisome na uielewe. Hiyo ndio dhibitisho ya kuwa una bima.
Asante sana.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na IRA. This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Can you believe we get to come out here every day? Yeah.
Lara? You okay? What's happening?
Why is she stopping?
Nothing out there.
Not yet.
Only 45 seconds on the clock and no set waves on the horizon. This contest may be over, Bo.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Lucy Maura is our sign language interpreter. Moving on, Water Services Regulatory Board says Narok County loses some 8 billion shillings annually through wastage and illegal water connections. Board Chairperson Joshua Irungu says water companies must put in place anti-theft measures and enhance capacity to seal leaks in water piping systems.
Joshua Irungu says the 8 billion shillings lost annually can be used in improving infrastructure in the country and enhance livelihoods.
If every county, if every water company reduces their non-revenue, we are going to save 8 billion Kenyan shillings that we lose as this country, which can go to improving the roads, improving the health, and even food for our people.
Irungu added that there is need to enhance the capacity of water stakeholders to help reduce shortage and wastage.
We remove the old pipes so that we avoid the leakage of the water, so that we get the better pipes, and so that we don't have that. And again, it's also in terms of capacity building to our managements of the water companies.
Narok Executive Member in charge of water and sanitation, Job Kiyapi, says there's need to expand water infrastructure in the region to accommodate the growing population.
The Narok Water Company is right now, or the provision of water within Narok Town is 4,000 cubic meters, which actually is very enough, but still we are worried because the population of Narok is seriously growing.
Also, Nairobi County government has named a road in Nairobi's Kileleshwa after Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli. Nairobi County Deputy Governor Anne Kananu, accompanied by Roads, Transport and Public Works County Executive Mohamed Dagane, said the Nairobi County Assembly named the road after Francis Atwoli in recognition of his selfless contribution and agitating for the rights of Kenyan workers in the last 54 years.
Kileleshwa's Dick Road now goes by the name Francis Atwoli Road.
Thank you very much.
The Nairobi County government renamed the road at a ceremony presided over by Nairobi Deputy Governor Anne Kananu on Thursday. Kananu said the move is in recognition of Atwoli's selfless contribution and agitation for the rights of the Kenyan workers over the last 54 years.
It's historical, it will be remembered, it will never be forgotten, and it will be there for life. And I can tell you, I'm really humbled. I'm humbled and I'm humbled. And let it be, I can say here and now, that for now and so many years to come, we will continue giving you maximum support.
But shortly after the launch, a section of Kenyans took to social media to mock the renaming. In a tweet, lawyer Abmenasir Abdullahi termed the exercise a total disgrace. Blogger Robert Athei argued that naming a road after the Kotu boss was an insult to Kenyan workers. But in a quick rejoinder, Atwoli fired back at his critics, squashing reports purporting that the signpost bearing the name had been vandalized. Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel 1 News.
Moving on, patients with fistula and renal problems in Isiolo County have benefited from free surgeries and treatment courtesy of a partnership between Kenyatta National Hospital and the Isiolo County Referral Hospital. During the exercise, medics at the Isiolo County Referral Hospital were also trained on how to handle cases and consequently minimize to the National Referral Hospital.
A team of 30 specialists from Kenyatta National Hospital joined hands with their colleagues from the Isiolo County Referral Hospital to conduct a free medical camp for patients suffering from fistula and renal problems. The team of specialists, led by Professor Seth Ouma, conducted diagnostic outreach services that saw 8 patients benefit from surgical operations, while 6 others were referred to the National Referral Hospital for specialized treatment.
What we are doing and what has brought us here is part of going around the country and talking to the patients themselves, to the healthcare workers, to try and sensitize them about these diseases. And when we do that, we normally work as a large group of health workers.
Isiolo County Chief Officer in charge of Health Services Ibrahim Alio said the initiative followed the rising cases of both conditions that have seen at least 248 cases being transferred to KNH in the recent past.
It is our main referral facility as well, and we have had 248 referrals that has been done to that facility. And because of that, we have decided to have very good partnership with them.
The county CEC in charge of health services, Wario Galma, lauded the partnership with Kenyatta National Hospital, saying it will go a long way towards improving the provision of specialized healthcare services at the county referral hospital.
And we are looking forward to more partnership, both in Kenyatta, strengthen the one with Kenyatta, as well as opening up other partnership. We already have same partnership with Kenyatta National Hospital, and I think we will strive to ensure that we strengthen these areas of partnership so that we can improve the quality of service we deliver at our county.
The exercise aims at building the capacity of county referral hospitals with continuous mentorship and training, as well as sensitization for residents on importance of early diagnosis, prevention and treatment of medical conditions. For Channel 1 News, I'm Nisi Imano Okoth.
Governor Mwangi wa Iria has underscored the need for benchmarking among counties, saying it can boost development in devolved units. Wa Iria, who challenged leaders to shun divisive politics, called for unity among county leaderships, saying bad governance was only derailing the success of devolution. County Governor Mwangi wa Iria, who spoke when a team of public officers from Elgeyo Marakwet County linked political differences to retrogression in some parts of the country.
Hii siasa ambayo iko kule juu na huku na kule isitutenganishi, kwa sababu watu wakiweka siasa sana zitaharibu biashara. Mtu kutoka Kisumu ana haki ya kuja kubenchmark na kile ambacho tunafanya hapa Murang'a. Sisi tuna haki ya kwenda Kisumu, Kakamega. Watu kutoka Rift Valley wana haki ya kuja Murang'a, na sisi tuna haki ya kwenda Rift Valley ili tusaidiane, kwa sababu sisi ni jamii moja. Na kile ambacho kinatugawanya hasa ni siasa. Na ni sisi wanasiasa tunafanya hivyo. Na tukifanya hivyo, yule ambaye wa kuumia ni mwananchi wa kawaida.
He said working together provided an opportunity for regions to tap from each other and foster development.
Wanasiasa tuachiwe siasa, wale ambao wanafanya kazi, wafanyikazi wa serikali na wakulima na wale wananchi wa kawaida waendelee kubadilishana mawaidha, waendelee kuoa, waendelee kuwa marafiki. Hii Kenya ni moja. Na nimesema hili siasa za kieleweke, siasa za tangatanga, sijui siasa za Wiper, sijui siasa za nini, sisiingizwe kwa mwananchi mdogo.
Wairia said his administration was committed to working with Elgeyo Marakwet County to help boost dairy farming in the two counties.
Tuko hapa leo kwa sababu ya urafiki kati ya gavana wa Iria na gavana Tolgos. Na tuko hapa leo kwa sababu pia ya zile mambo ambazo wanafanya ambayo inalingana. Tunajua kwamba hakuna mtoto ambaye hahitaji maziwa, na ndio maana gavana Tolgos na gavana wa Iria wameweka mikakati ili kustawisha hiyo sekta ya maziwa. Ndio maana leo tumekuja hapa ili tujifunze. They say if you want to go far, learn from the best.
Murang'a County government has invested in dairy farming in the region by investing in a milk processing plant in Maragua area. Moving on, authorities in Athei River have launched a major crackdown on alleged land grabbers said to be terrorizing landowners in Leukemia division. The grabbers are said to be forcibly evicting landowners at times using physical assault.
Members of Kamulu housing companies and the Mavoko Town Block 12 say encroachment began in 2010 with illegal subdivision and sale of land.
Mimi niko na shamba huko. Tumeenda kotini, tuko na ruling. Inasema sisi ndio wenye shamba.
The owners, who are mostly retirees, say they spend their pension to purchase the parcels of land.
Ilikuwa share moja inauzwa, unapatiwa eka 5 na eka ya kujenga. Tukiwa watu 18 wa mama, tukanunua hiyo share.
The group accused Athei River Deputy Sub-County Commander of laxity in ending the menace.
Security uko nayo, karibu 80% ya hiyo watu wao wako na hizo namba za wakora.
The dejected landowners say they are unable to access their parcels of land despite previous court rulings made in their favor. At the River Sub-County Deputy Commissioner Charles Ombugu said a crackdown is currently underway to apprehend land grabbers.
Huwezi kuwa kwa migogoro ya mashamba unaenda usiku kufanya vituko kwa sababu uko na bunduki ambao iko na license. The law is very clear, hizo bunduki tutachukua. Serikali haiwezi kushughulia wewe shamba as absentee landlord.
He also issued a directive for landowners to be accompanied by police officers every weekend to develop their plots. Kamulu housing projects boast 6,000 acres, and while the Mavoko Town Block 12 owns some 2,334 acres with over 10,000 members. Patricia Waidera for Channel 1 News.
Moving on, Ikolomani Member of Parliament Bernard Shinyali is warning of action against men found culpable of defiling girls in the area. Washali, who cited rising cases of teenage pregnancies in his constituency, linked the increased cases of defilement. He said the education of many victims has been affected and the ripple effects is reduced earning potential of the country.
Ambao wamekuwa na tabia ya kunachizi watoto wadogo, watoto wa shule, na haya yanafanyika katika familia. Kama mtu mzee unapata anarudi kwa wajukuu wake na wanachizi, wote tuwe waangalifu. Watu kama hawa tuwakamate mara moja na tuwaelekeze kwa mikono ya serikali ili waweze kupata adhabu. Tunataka tupate mafunzo maalum kwa hawa wanafunzi wetu ili hawa watoto wakiwa nyumbani wanaweza kuona na kudetect kama relative amekuwa na tabia isiyokuwa ya kawaida ya kuonekana anaweza mnajisi, ili aweze kutoka mara moja. Na wale kama tabia kama hizo zimekuwa zikifanyika, tunataka pia waweze kuongelesha wanafunzi wetu, waweze kuripoti, na sisi tutachukua action bila hata wenyewe kuwatambua.
And in Nyamira, the county woman representative Jerusha Mumanyi has cited sanitary towels and adequate water supply as some of the essentials needed to create a conducive environment for girls in school. The legislature says the National Affirmative Action Fund has moved great lengths to ensure girls are provided with the said essentials, calling for more resources to ensure the sustainability of the fund.
Speaking during the distribution of the items at Kiambira and Kiomora primary schools in Manga sub-county, the lawmaker said such support will alleviate unique challenges facing the girl child.
Katika kila shule tumepatiana visodo. Hii visodo ni ya watoto wangu ambayo wanasoma kila siku, ambayo kila shule ambayo inapatikana katika Nyamira County.
The legislator assured learners of the government support in ensuring their stay in school.
Serikali imefanya kazi kweli kweli. Hata ukiangalia hii visodo imeandikwa CK, not for sale. Hii ni kazi yoyote. Hata mkiangalia ile tanki nimeleta huko imeandikwa ngafu.
The legislature challenged parents to reciprocate the gesture by honoring their obligations and complement the government's input in the support of the girl child. Patricia Oidera for Channel 1 News.
Let's now cross our borders, and tens of thousands of people have fled the city of Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo again due to fears of another eruption of the Nyiragongo volcano. The governor of the North Kivu province ordered the evacuation, saying an eruption could take place with very little warning.
Last weekend, at least 31 people are now known to have died when Mount Nyiragongo erupted. The United Nations has warned that as many as 400,000 people have fled the Congolese city of Goma amid fears of a fresh volcanic eruption at nearby Mount Nyiragongo. On Thursday, officials ordered the city to be partially evacuated because worried lava flows into Lake Kivu would generate a tsunami and toxic gas cloud. Hundreds of thousands have now fled. The town of Sake is full, and so they are moving into neighboring Rwanda, the Virunga National Park, or even across Lake Kivu. Aid agencies are responding, with displaced people requiring food, shelter, water, and sanitation. And the U.S. will not rejoin the Open Skies Treaty that permits unarmed aerial flights over dozens of participating countries. The State Department says the Open Skies Treaty has been undermined by Russia's violations and its failure to return to compliance. Russia has denied the allegations, and it is also expected to withdraw from the treaty this year. The announcement by the U.S. means only one major arms control treaty between the two nuclear powers remain in place. Elsewhere, Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors says she is resigning from the foundation. The foundation started as a hashtag in 2013 and has since become a global movement, and it has launched successful protests against incidents of police brutality and all racially motivated violence against black people.
Let's now have a look at some business, and SACCOs have recovered 380 million shillings owed to them in non-remitted deductions. Commissioner for Cooperative Development Geoffrey Ngangombe says that the government is piling pressure on institutions that had defaulted to remit members' contribution on time, and policies are being drafted to penalize institutions that delay remitting contributions.
SACCOs in the country are owed 4.3 billion shillings in unremitted contribution, with the highest defaulters being public university and institution in the national and county governments. This comes as SACCO Society Regulatory Authority to enact law that will see top managers of defaulting organizations take personal responsibility for non-remittance. So far, SACCOs have recovered 380 million shillings in delayed non-remittance deductions. Of this amount, the University of Nairobi remitted 275.9 million shillings owed to Chuna SACCO, while Egerton University and Kisii University remitted 306 million shillings and 5.3 million shillings in outstanding remittance respectively to Egerton SACCO. Speaking during the annual general meeting for Kenya Union of Savings and Credit Cooperatives, officials say the COVID-19 pandemic saw most SACCOs cutting some of their operations to fund their loan books. Officials say the COVID-19 pandemic saw most SACCOs cutting some of their operations to fund their loan books. In 2020, the Cusco combined loan book grew to 10.49 billion shillings, up from 8.67 billion shillings the previous year, while assets increased 19.1% to 19.81 billion shillings. Benson Roba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Family Bank Group saw its pre-tax profit during the first 3 months of this year increase by 71.7% to 510 million shillings, driven by higher net interest income. The stock of non-performing loans hit 10.4 billion shillings, forcing the lender to increase the loan loss provisions by a third to 360.1 million shillings. And here are the details of these and other stories in our corporate brief.
Family Bank Group's net interest income rose by 27.2% to 1.8 billion shillings, supported by the increased lending as the loan book expanded by 15.9% to 61.4 billion shillings. However, this pushed up Family Bank's stock of non-performing loans that increased 15.6% to 10.4 billion shillings. This saw the lender increasing the loan loss provision by 30% to 360 million shillings. Non-funded income marginally decreased from 714.9 million shillings to 711.2 million shillings on the back of the waiver of mobile banking charges to customers. Operating expenses marginally increased by 4.6% to 1.8 billion shillings. Meanwhile, UAP Old Mutual Group has announced its Athei Imara Junior medical insurance product for children to include COVID-19 testing and treatment. The Athei Imara Junior cover was launched as the first ever comprehensive medical cover exclusively for children. Under the cover, children can access the medical insurance cover without necessarily having to be under their parents' covers. Finally, the county government of Busia, in partnership with Climate Smart, has launched a multi-million modern fish farming pond in Burumba, Busia County, with the youth as managers and beneficiaries. The county government plans to put up more modern ponds powered by a solar system, as well as construct a fish processing plant to enhance value addition.
Kutakuwa na ile fish processing plant ya kufanya filleting ambayo iko hapa nyuma, itamalizwa na iwezeshe kupata samaki, mufanye hata filleting, muuze zingine direct na zingine mufillet, mupate faida, mufanye value addition.
Kuna jinsia mpya imekuja ya kufuga samaki ambayo inaitwa aquaculture recirculating system, ambayo inatumia maji ikipurify, ikiricirculate. Hiyo technology tuli propose ifanywe hapa Busia kwa sababu haitumii maji mingi. Tunajua ya kwamba in town water is scarce.
Russia has denied entry to 2 European airlines because they planned to avoid flying over Belarus to get to Moscow. Air France and Australian Airlines have both had to cancel services after their flight plans were rejected by Russia. Details of this and other stories in our international roundup.
European Union leaders asked European carriers to avoid Belarusian airspace this week after a Ryanair plane was forced to divert and land in Minsk on Sunday. Belarusian dissident journalist Roman Protasevich and his girlfriend were then arrested. The UN Civil Aviation Agency has said it will launch a fact-finding investigation into Belarus's action and whether there had been any breach of international aviation law. The decision to deny entry to specific flights is the first move from Russia over the diplomatic conflict. Other flights involving German carrier Lufthansa and Polish airline LOT have arrived as scheduled. Russia is yet to comment on the action it is taking. Meanwhile, Canada is investigating allegations of forced labor in Malaysia's palm oil and glove manufacturing industries. Malaysian firms, including some of the world's biggest palm oil and rubber glove producers, have faced increasing scrutiny in recent years over reports of labor abuses. In the last 1 year, the United States has banned imports from 3 Malaysian firms on suspicions of forced labor. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has said it found forced labor indicators such as excessive hours, abusive living, working conditions, debt bondage, and intimidation. The sanctioned companies include Top Glove and 2 of the world's top palm oil producers. Finally, the heads of major U.S. retail banks are facing renewed criticism from Democratic lawmakers who say financial institutions should not have charged Americans billions of dollars in overdraft and other fees during the pandemic. Testifying before Congress, the CEOs of J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup Incorporation, and Wells Fargo highlighted their banks' efforts to waive fee and offer more affordable accounts after Senator Elizabeth Warren Morgan attacked them over the costs. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said his bank waived $400 million in overdraft fees for customers who asked for help since the pandemic began. Warren had slammed JP Morgan for gathering $1.46 billion in such fee.
It's now time for the sports, and KNRC Premier Class driver Yasmeet Chana is confident of his preparations ahead of the WRC Safari Rally to be held from the 24th to 27th of next month. The multiple KNRC category champion expects a trouble-free run at the rally to be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
Yasmeet Chana has embarked on final preparations for the WRC Safari Rally to be held from the 24th to 27th of next month. The multiple KNRC category champion expects a trouble-free run at the rally and will be trying his level best against the world beaters on the lakeside regions of Elementaita and Naivasha. This will be his first WRC Safari as a driver, but he has participated in global editions of the event as a service crew for Toyota Team Europe. Since the ARC Equator Rally last month, Chana has been working to ensure his car is compliant with the FIA specifications.
Since Equator, we have had the FIA fuel tank. It's a Group N car. Everything is under warranty and it's compliant with all Group N regulations, so we should be good to go.
He will use the same Evo 10 he drove in the Equator Rally, navigated by his elder sibling Ravinda Chana. He says preparations have been major because the WRC Safari is a longer and tougher event.
All drivers have supported the WRC Safari to come back. We wanted to come back. Kenya's been the house for Safari. Let's have it back. Let's prove to the world that we can organize a WRC event.
Chana's debut rally was the ICC Safari Rally in 2007 when he drove a Volkswagen Golf GTI in two-wheel drive and finished third. He also won the two-wheel drive championship twice in 2007 and 2009. From then on, he has won various championships in the Toyota Celica, including the KNRC Division 3, 2 and 1. Chana later upgraded to his current Mitsubishi Evolution 10. The WRC Safari Rally will be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
The Los Angeles Lakers won their first playoff game at home in 8 seasons to take a 2-1 series lead with a 109-95 victory over the Phoenix Suns, and Anthony Davis again led the way for the Lakers with 34 points and 11 rebounds in the first round of the best-of-7 Western Conference playoffs. LeBron James scored 21 points as nearly 7,500 fans watched the first playoff game at the Center since 2013. The Lakers won last year's NBA title in a biosecure bubble on neutral grounds. Davis became the first Lakers player since 4-time NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal to score more than 30 points and come up with more than 10 rebounds in successive playoffs game.
That foul on Caldwell Pope, that is wiped out by Andre Drummond as Booker the 8th as Booker working on Schroeder. Wide open is Crowder. They need it, and they get it. Ron, who gives it right back. Oh, he passes up an open three. Shoots over Booker now. Cashes it. Under 2 minutes to go in regulation. Do the Suns have more fight in them? Ayton lets Davis fly. Albeit a 7 seed, they don't play like one, they don't feel like one. As Schroeder is fouled, maybe a little excessive roll right there. And Crowder and Devin Booker ejected.
Failed to win a trophy this season and were piped to the Spanish La Liga title by city rivals Atletico Madrid on a dramatic final last day, Saturday. Real said in a statement that they respect Zidane's decision.
Former France forward Zidane, who played for Real Madrid from 2001 to 2006, won 3 consecutive UEFA Champions League titles and a Spanish La Liga title in his first period as manager between 2016 and 2018. He left in May 2018 but returned 10 months later and secured a second Spanish La Liga title last season. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspurs have made contact with former head coach Mauricio Pochettino about a return to the club. The 49-year-old Argentine, who was sacked by Spurs in November 2019 after 5 years in charge, took over at Paris Saint-Germain in January. PSG failed to win the Ligue 1 title for only the second time in 9 seasons and lost to Manchester City in the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Tottenham Hotspur sacked Jose Mourinho, Pochettino's replacement, last month. Academy coach Ryan Mason was put in temporary charge until the end of the season. Under him, Spurs lost the Carabao Cup final to Manchester City and finished 7th in the English Premier League season. Frederick Muki for Channel 1 Sports.
Before we wrap it up, we revisit our business story. And chicken feed, cosmetics and escargot are some of the lucrative products farmers could produce and sell it if they embrace snail farming. Dr. Paul Kinoti, a lecturer at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technologies, Department of Horticulture and Food Security, says snails are widely used in the cosmetic industry in developed nations, and a little snail slime can fetch an upward of 5,000 shillings.
Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Department of Horticulture and Food Security lecturer Dr. Paul Kinoti says in order to start rearing snails, farmers must get special licenses as snails are considered wildlife. The farmers are then supposed to get snails and prepare for them to start laying eggs. There are 3 main categories of snail products. First, the lime they secrete can be used to make cosmetics and skincare products. A liter of snail slime fetches over 5,000 shillings.
Hiyo soko kwa mfano sisi tunanunua hiyo slime ama makamazi ambayo inatolewa na snail kwa utengenezaji wa bidhaa tofauti tofauti. Pia tuko na makampuni ambayo inaweza nunua hizo products ambazo zinaweza kutumika kutengeneza lishe la wanyama, na pia tunaweza export.
Their shells can be used to make poultry feed and fertilizer, and lastly the snails can be eaten.
In cosmetic wise, high nutrient proteins are very high for feeds. Yeah, so I think I'll encourage, like, snails is gonna so many benefits.
While snail rearing is common in parts of West Africa, it's still uncommon in Kenya.
Hii kilimo ni urahisi sana kulima. Sio kama vile tunalima kahawa na majani chai na ng'ombe na nini. Ni ukulima tu ambao unaweza lima ukuwa katika hii manyumba tunalima mijini ya kukoboa, hapo tu nje unaweza kulima.
Konokono tunatumia ama tunafunza ama tuna support wa kulima ni zile ambazo zimebeba jumba, konokono ambazo zimefanyiwa utafiti, na ni konokono ambazo ni rahisi kuzifuga.
Researchers at a model farm that Biosnail project established in 2019 said training has slowed down because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but they hope that when things return to normal, farmers will return to take snail rearing across the country. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And that report now brings us to the end of lunchtime news this Friday afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. Lucy Mora has been our sign language interpreter. My name is Purity Museo. Good afternoon and God bless.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
Kupata skiza tune hii, Ufunuo wa Yohana 38, dial *811 *8